Hey guys, it's Peyton, and today I'm going to be talking about the popular books that I don't like. So maybe a little bit of a controversial video. Not really. I don't typically hate a book. There's only one book that I really hate just because it's bad. And there's more that could probably be on this list. There straight up is more that could be on this list. I just picked some more up. I'm gonna realize that I missed some later and be quite mad about it. Let's just go ahead and get into the books that I don't like, but let me just tell you, there's none that I really hate. It's just, these disappointed me. They were way overhyped most of the time, and they did not live up to that hype, so they just weren't that good, and I wanted them to be good, I thought they would be, but nope. So the first book listed is An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This one's probably not that big of a surprise since I recently read this and did a whole vlog for it. I will put a card wherever the cards go, so you can go watch that vlog. But basically, I gave this book a 2 stars, and that does not typically happen. This is probably the book that I like the least out of this whole list. It's just, ooh, it was just not done well. And yes, there's people that like this book. It's totally fine if you like this book. I'm not judging you. It's just, personally, it was not my cup of tea. The insta-love was basically we're 5 pages in and we are in love, guys, forever and always. Forever. And everything about this book was just so rushed. That was the really big problem of it. It needed help, it needed work in the pacing department. It just was too quick. And if things had been slowed down and we got more time with the 2 characters that had the love story going on, it would just make it a lot better. The whole plot was surrounded around their love story. If you don't like the love story, then it pretty much ruins the whole book, just because that's literally what the book is all about. If you don't know what this book is about, it's basically this girl, she paints portraits of people, but she lives in a world where there is fae, and the fae come and let her paint portraits of them because they can't do arts or anything. They can't create things. So one day she paints humanity in this fae's eyes, and it causes a big uproar in his fae land, and that sounds really cool in the premise, but it just ended up really letting me down. It could have been a lot better. At least Sorcery of Thorns was good. The next one on this list is Zenith by Sasha Osberg and Lindsay Cummings. I think I gave this one a 2.75 out of 5 stars. And you probably already know my thoughts about this if you've been here for a while with me, but basically this book just wasn't really well done, and I really wanted to like it a lot more than I did. It was super hyped, and it was the first big booktuber book that was ever going to come out, and I really wanted to like it more than I did. And maybe old Peyton would have liked this a lot more, but I've just read a lot more books and have read a lot better books that I just am not into this one. It had too many perspectives, and it just wasn't done well with it. They pitched this as Guardians of the Galaxy but with females, and I just don't even feel like they can say that. That's making it sound better than it is. That's so mean. But I really like these 2 people. They're really cool. They both have channels, and I like them. It's just really unfortunate that I didn't like this one, and I don't really know how to explain it because it's just been a while and I don't really care to explain it, but it's just space. Just a group of girls in space, and it just felt like the main character was trying to be Selena Sardothian, which I understand because my writing, I've tried, my old self, that's all I was trying to do, but that's not what I want anymore. I don't want a carbon copy of the same character over and over and over again. So really unfortunate. I literally actually had to pick up the audiobook for this one because I just couldn't get through it. Sorry. The next popular book I don't really like is Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I do have the other 2, the sequel and the 3rd one, and maybe I would continue on. You're probably what? You're supposed to hate this book. I don't hate it, but it's just, it was kind of like Enchantment of Ravens with the insta-love thing, and there was way more to this one. This one was definitely better than that one, but I haven't continued on, and I don't know if I will at this point, because the first one really didn't impress me all that much. I've heard it gets better, but yeah, there was these 2 characters that had a huge insta-love thing, and insta-love ruins a lot of things for me, especially when plots are entwined with it. I just can't stop laughing, like, when the love story is just that bad. How am I supposed to focus on, like, the serious stuff when your love story sucks that bad and they, like, look at each other and, oh, they're suddenly in love. This one, I don't even know what it's about. It's a high fantasy book. And truly, I got no idea, like, what this is about. I do not remember, like, a thing from this other than that there's kind of, like, incest, which was uncomfortable. There was a main character named Magnus, and he, like, kind of was crushing on his sister, and that was just uncomfortable. But, like, I was also, like, intrigued by this character. He was the most interesting character out of all of them, just because, like, obviously there's something wrong with him. Yeah, that's basically what I remember out of this one, insta-love, and it's trying to be incest too, like, ew. The next book I didn't really like that much, unfortunately, is Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody. I didn't absolutely hate this book or anything, but this one was boring for me, and I'm just gonna straight up say it. I read her other book, Daughter of the Burning City, and I really enjoyed this one, and then I went into this one, and I read this during, like, finals week for high school, and it was that book, like, I'll start reading it after I'm done with my exam, and I was not even excited to start reading this. Like, I was barely pushing through this book, and I really needed a super entertaining book, but I don't know what it was about this book. It just was not capturing my attention. I got no tabs in, like, any of these books other than Fallen Kingdoms, but some of these were like, oh, here's a tab for a goal of how many pages to read for the day. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I did tab books at this point of my life, but nothing. Like, I had nothing, just because I really just didn't connect with it for some reason, and it has such a cool premise too. I love how I literally can't remember, like, most of anything about these books, just because they didn't stick with me. That's why they're on this list. But it's this city, and it's just filled with crime, and the main character is trying to find, like, her mom, the typical thing of trying to find a parent. I get it. She, like, has to team up with this crime lord, and I think he's a black bisexual man, but I may be making that up because I really don't remember much about this book other than that. I just had a hard time pushing through, and then again, like, yeah, I liked this author's other book, so I'm like, should I attempt to read the other one or the next one after this one? I don't know, but I just know that I was let down personally. It just was not capturing my attention. Unfortunately, I really wish it did. The next one is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I read the first two of these books, and I've had the third one forever, and who knows if I will ever read it. I kind of, like, hold on to these just because this is Tahara Mafi's husband, and I want to respect him. I just don't think it lives up to the hype. The whole concept is pretty cool, I must say, like, just having pictures throughout that Ransom Riggs found in, like, thrift stores and stuff, and what he does is connect stories around them. It's such a cool premise, but it's just one of those things, again, where it just felt kind of boring. Like, it felt slow and boring, and there's also a weird vibe of the main character dating his grandpa's girlfriend. Yes, there is, like, a time freeze that kept her young, but it's still weird. I don't know. I'm almost, like, wanting to give this another chance because I know I liked the second one a lot better than this one. It's just, I think this one was just hyped so much that when I finally read it, I was just like, wait, like, that's it? A lot of the times, I feel like these books are just so overhyped that the enjoyment is taken away from me because I'm expecting something so amazing that when I get something that was just, like, okay, I'm just sitting here like, it's really sad. I could have maybe liked this one more. I don't know. Should I give it another go? I don't know. It's just, I have so many books on my shelf. I keep buying books. Like, I'm terrible. I've bought so many books recently. Y'all just don't even know. You got some book hauls coming for you. But that's why I'm just like, should I just sell them? Like, I don't know. I just wish I liked it because the concept is just so cool. The next one is another really sad one. It is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. I actually read up to book 3 of this, and I have the 4th book. Like, I was really trying for this one. This one was just okay. I probably gave it like 3 or 4 stars. I think the 3rd book was when it was like really downhill for me. I probably gave it like a 2 something. If I didn't give it a 2, then I was lying to you guys. Like, it just really didn't impress me. The plots of this are just not what they need to be. The characters is what kind of saves it for me. They're super interesting. I haven't explained what this book is about. It's basically a gender-bent Sherlock Holmes retelling. So we have Charlotte Holmes and we have Jamie Watson. This is modern day and they're teenagers. They're going through some mysteries, but let's be real, the mysteries are very, very disappointing. And I know it takes like after like some of the real stories from Sherlock Holmes. That's just like what people have told me. But I personally don't care. It's supposed to be like mysteries. I was like really hoping I'd get into this and be like, whoa, like what is going on? Like the vibes that I got from Pretty Little Liars, not the best example, but back when I was watching that show, I was a detective. I needed to figure it out. I was like, it was like a puzzle. I was so excited to like try to think about this. Whenever something captures my attention like that, when I am just wanting to figure something out so badly, it makes me so excited. And I was really hoping that these mystery books were gonna do it for me, but really the plots are lacking. It's just so simple, and maybe that's the point. I don't know. Then it's just not for me. I don't know if I will read the fourth one. I literally bought the hardcover right when it came out and I'm kind of pissed about it. I didn't realize like the third one wasn't good at all for me. So that's why I went ahead and bought the fourth one. I pre-ordered it. And then I read the third one. I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of just want to give up. If I get the audiobook, then maybe. But I honestly see myself selling these. Like literally 3 tabs. That's really bad. Like that's when you know I was bored. The next book is Always and Forever, Laura Jean by Jenny Han. I like this one a bit more than the other ones. Like you can tell by the tabs that there's a little bit more, and it's just because I had the attachment to the first 2 books. This is the third one in the trilogy, but I truly think this book was unneeded. It was originally a duology. She said it was over and done with, and then she gave us this third book, and I love getting more content. Some parts of this book made me really happy, but I just really wasn't into it. I did read this years after like the first 2, but still I just didn't feel like I really got anything good out of this book. I just definitely think it's the worst one of the trilogy. And if you don't know what these are about, it's basically To All the Boys I Loved Before. She is a teenage girl. She writes letters every time she has a giant crush just to get her feelings out, and she puts it in this box and hides it to like pretend like the feelings are gonna go away. And then one day someone mails out all these letters to these guys and awkward situations ensue, fake dating ensue. The first 2 books are just magnificent. I haven't read them in a while, so maybe they aren't as good as I remember them to be, but I don't know. This one is just specifically was just a big letdown. The next book I didn't like as much as I wish I did was Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I read this like right when it first came out. No tabs again. I'm pretty sure I was tabbing books by this point in my life. It was just another thing where it was completely lacking. This one has to do with Jack the Ripper, a big mystery about that. And the main character, she's into forensics, so she is cutting up some bodies to figure out how people died. And she's doing that around the time of Jack the Ripper, and I really like her girl power during this decade. I like her for that. This is another case of like the characters were pretty cool, but the plot and everything else just let everything die. And I think I probably gave this like 3 stars. It wasn't terrible or anything, but it was just super disappointing. And I literally have the second book just because it's signed and Julia Sapphire promised it got better. And you know what? I trust her, I think. So maybe I'll like eventually read that, because the concepts of the later books sound super cool. I was really sad that this one wasn't like my cup of tea apparently, because this is just my sort of thing. Like this plot, like murder mystery, like dead bodies, and then the romance thing, like the relationship they have, I do like that. It's just everything else like kind of killed it. So maybe I'll give the second one a try. Honestly, if I do, like it'd have to be like an audiobook. I'm not really really wanting to put that much like energy to physically read them. Same goes as for like Ace of Shades book 2. I just don't have the energy to like actually read it if I'm gonna give it another chance. But it would be nice because I think like the Houdini one and like Capturing the Devil, like that just sounds pretty cool. And Dracula, like that sounds cool and I want to like them, but this one was just a big letdown. The final book that I didn't like very much was The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, and I read this one forever ago, so if you look at my Goodreads, I probably gave it a 5 out of 5 stars or something because I was inaccurate with my freaking book reviews. I literally just gave everything high ratings no matter how much I didn't like it. This one is just another overhyped book that literally just did not give me it. It did not give me those feelings. And I don't even feel like explaining what this is about, to be honest. It's just like teens with superpowers during like an apocalyptic like time and like dystopia. It's one of those dystopians. And Alexandra Bracken is such a like beautiful human. I've met her twice and I feel bad. Like I felt bad both times because like I knew I didn't really like her books, yet I was still in the signing line. It was at Y'all Fest, so like if she was there, like why not meet her, you know? Like she's super cool. I just personally did not like vibe with it. I read the second one. The second one is where it really killed it for me. I don't remember exactly why, but that book was not good. Like I just did not like the second one and I never continued with the third one, yet I have them all signed, so I don't know what to do with it. Like I feel bad about getting rid of signed books that I got personalized, but there's a few that I kind of like don't really want anymore. So those are all the popular books I don't like that I'm talking about today, because I'm sure there's more. There's always more. Let me know down below what you think about these books. I know I probably like hurt somebody's feelings, but I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm not attacking you. If you like these books, it's perfectly good. It's just my personal opinion that they're not my favorites. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like this video, comment down below, have a good day. Please subscribe, make sure to follow all my social medias, which are linked down below, and go click the bell button, which is right by the subscribe button, which you should have already clicked, and goodbye.